for this spotlight, I think we're going to move from, I did this guy last time, we're going to move straight over. And I'm going to do the 2009 Digital Data Cloud Box Woody. We're going to take a look at him. Shine a spotlight on him. Let's get to it! Alright, so today we're going to take a look at this Woody. And this, as you may know from previous videos I've put up, again, before we even get started, everything that I talk about in the Spotlight series, I have longer videos detailing with better reviews on my channel. I have a playlist so you can go and you can watch all of them if you'd like, or you can pick out individual ones, the ones that you prefer, the ones that you're interested in. And it details, I have videos detailing each and everything in my collection. So, but today we're shining a spotlight on my 2009 Cloud Box, because it came in a Cloud style box. Digital Data Woody. So this is just kind of an average talking Woody doll, is what they would have called this. Okay, so first off, I prefer this over the Signature series myself for my collection, and the reasoning being is because like the opening scene of Toy Story 1, where you have Woody coming out there, you know, he says, "Reach for the sky," you know, and his head raises up. I think that there's some scenes that you could argue this, but I think it looks more like he has more of a yellow tone belt buckle, and that may have been because of the computer generation back then. Getting it more of a gold color may have been more difficult with the hardware and stuff that they were working with. There are some scenes, even in the first movie, where he's sitting in the way that's reflecting and stuff. It does make it look more gold, but those movies have also been what's the word, remastered. So it depends on what version you're watching. If you happen to be watching the old VHS tape that I grew up with on a CRT TV, this is going to look yellow. So I like the yellow belt, but you could argue that it's gold in some of the scenes too, especially if you watch the remastered and everything, and you're not watching it on an old CRT. You could argue that it's more of a kind of a goldish toned color. However, I think yellow is better. That's just kind of when I was growing up watching it on the VHS and the CRT, it always looked yellow to me. So I like the yellow down here too. I feel like that's more accurate to the movie. Another reason why I prefer this movie, of course I prefer this movie, prefer this Woody, is because he actually has a flop in his head. So his head flops around like the movie Woody. The Signature series doesn't. It's attached to the voice box. So his head won't flop around unless you do some customization. Then maybe you could get him having a floppy head. But this one naturally has a floppy head, like Woody should. His hat does not have the band. However, there is a scene in Toy Story 3, when Woody's hat falls off and he's in the tree, you know, he's hanging by his pull cord in that tree, before Bonnie comes and snatches him, and his hat's lying on the ground. When the camera zooms away and shows his hat laying there, they didn't like include the band. It doesn't look like there's any band on there, like the way the shadows are and everything. Can't see the band, so it looks like a hat like this laying on the ground. So little details like that is kind of interesting and also kind of cool in Toy Story movies, just stuff they either left out or maybe they did it on purpose because of whatever model they were using for the computer generated image. Maybe somebody had this hat for that scene, and so that's just the way it looks. I don't know. So that's kind of an interesting thing. If you watch, you can catch different little discrepancies and changes and differences like that in the Toy Story movies. So, but I would prefer this hat. So, like, if you could pick up a Signature Collection hat and then stick it on this Woody, that would be pretty cool to me. So I would prefer the Signature Collection hat over this one. It also has, the leather stitching around it, which is just kind of nice. Or it might be faux leather. I don't know if it's even real leather on that one. So that's just kind of a neat touch. You really can't tell in the movie if his hat is stitched or just like, like this, except when he's at the garage sale and Al picks him up and he goes, "A hand stitched polyvinyl hat. I found him. I found him." Um, so that's the part where I guess you get the stitched, but just watching the computer, you can't really tell that it's that this is if this is stitched or not. So um, I like the vest on this one. That varies. You can find ones that don't have as nice of a straight down flat vest as this one, just because of production. So that's just a luck of the draw thing. Some of the vest also will look a little bit longer. Some will be a little bit shorter. That's just a production thing. Badge, it's not bad. Badge is more of a gold color, while the belt's yellow. So that's interesting. But a sheriff's badge would probably be gold. Um, so those are things that I really like about this Woody. I also just like his shape and his size, and it does vary a little bit. I actually have a review where I compare this Woody to the Signature Collection. So if you want to check that out, you can find that in the playlist. Again, my Toy Story reviews. You can watch that if you'd like. Um, and it does vary a little bit as far as his size and just the way he's put together. So this Woody is just kind of more floppy. This just seems like more like the movie Woody to me. I don't know. I just prefer this one. And actually, I paid more for this one because he came in the box and stuff than I did for the Signature Collection that I had. So there you go. But yeah, I really like this Woody. Um, his buttons are flat, so they're just plastic. I think they look pretty nice though. I just like this Woody all around. Again, to me, that first intro scene where Andy's playing with Woody, you know, and he comes up, with his hat down, like, and he goes, "Reach for the sky," after he pulls his pull string. Um, this just to me this just fits that scene really well. Of course, he's got the open mouth smile, not the closed mouth smile. The only one that had that was that plush huggable Woody thing that they put out. Um, so I'm not going to do a head swap on him. There actually, if you want to get into real details about Toy Story, on the first movie when Andy's playing with him and running around and stuff, I believe it's when he's leaving his room after he plays in the first part, and then he goes to head downstairs to see his birthday party stuff and everything. He's moving Woody around, whatever, and goes to hug him, I think, if I remember right. Anyway, in that scene, Woody smiles. His mouth's open, and he smiles for a split second before it goes back to the regular closed mouth smile. So he does open his mouth and smile like this in the movie while Andy is playing with him for a split second at the very beginning. So that's where you kind of get a little hint there, I guess, that the toys are going to be alive if you can catch it. So that's pretty cool, I thought. See if you can catch that if you've never noticed it before. But that does happen in the movie. So I think with an open mouth smile, you kind of get that kind of thing of just kind of the whole attitude of Toy Story, of the toys coming alive and everything. So I don't know. I like it. Closed mouth smile, I get it. But some of them honestly look kind of freaky. Some of the customs and some of the heads that people have made, they kind of creep me out a little bit sometimes just because they just look unnatural. So, yeah. But anyway, so that's that. Um, so for batteries in him, we're going to put some batteries in him so we can pull his pull string and hear some phrases here of Woody. Oh, I take his hat off. Take a look at his head all the way around. He doesn't have the painted lines on his head, like the Signature would, but that's all right. So to get to his voice box, let's take his hat off so it doesn't fall and go all over the place. You gotta go back here, and there's a Velcro little flap. So you just open his butt flap, and he's got the same type of a battery box that the 2009 Jessie had. So it's different than battery boxes in Disney stores or in the Signature Collection. It's just a square battery box that sits down at the bottom, which is part of why he can have the floppy head. And you just work that out of there. And this takes a Phillips screwdriver, so just one screw. And again, there are screws on the back. There's 4. You don't want to mess with that. Just this screw. So just unscrew that. Like that. And he takes 2 of the weird batteries, which, in case you didn't see my other video on the 2009 Jessie, which if you didn't and you want to go check it out, go ahead. I will show you what kind of batteries these are. So let me grab that. All right. So these take these weird little guys. They are Duracell N LR1 batteries, and they look like this. These little short things, and these are kind of pretty hard to find. Like I said in the Jessie video, I actually only have 2 of these, and I just use them when I need them. So you put these in here. Again, they're NLR1 1.5 volt Duracells. Put them in like that, and then you just pop top back on there like that. And take a screwdriver, just snug that down, like so. And then take this, slip it back into Woody's butt. By the way, getting him out of my collection, I knocked a bunch of stuff over. Kind of irritates me. So, because I have to put it back up now. That's the struggles of collecting things and getting things out. All right, so there he is, and he's lost his hat. Has anybody seen my hat? Cowboy Cam's tomorrow, and I can't find my hat. I don't know why I'm talking like a half an old man. Oh, we'll put these stairs here. It's like elderly Woody or something. All right.
Howdy, partner. My name's Sheriff Woody. You're my favorite deputy. There's a snake in my boot. Reach for the sky.
Yeah, reach for the sky. I like that phrase.
This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. Giddy up, partner. We gotta get this wagon train a-moving. Hello. So, how you doing? Ha ha! Boy, am I glad to see you. Come on, partner. Let's saddle up for adventure. Yee-haw! Ride 'em, cowboy! Hey, partner. You've got a friend in me. When there's trouble on the prairie, I'm your sheriff. Hey, howdy, hey. Got my sheriff's hat, my favorite deputy by my side. Yep, I'm ready for adventure. A sheriff always wears his badge with pride. Yee-haw! Ha-ha! Sheriff Woody and his deputies saved the day. Yee-haw! Good work, deputy. Look, there's a bandit. I fooled ya. You know, you are one fun deputy. Can you help me gather up a posse? We need to stop those bandits. Well, pull my string. Yee-haw! Hey, howdy, hey. Come on, partner. Let's saddle up for adventure. Giddy up, partner. We gotta get this wagon train a-moving. There's a snake in my boot. This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. Howdy, partner. My name's Sheriff Woody. Reach for the sky.
All right. So that's a good, if not all of his phrases, most of his phrases. He does have quite a few. Doesn't say like someone's poisoned the water hole or anything like that, which would have been cool. But his phrases are pretty nice. So yeah, in general. Also, he doesn't have the open hands, the flat open hands that Woody has in the movie. He's got the curved hands, but I really like this Woody. I think it's a really good representation of him in size and everything. As far as like them making Woodies, they seem to be able to make pretty good Woodies in general. I'm not a huge fan of the Disney Star Woody as far as the look, personally, but this Woody I am. And Buzz in general, as far as just the look of him, I guess, and with the digital data and stuff, they've made some really good looking Buzzes. As far as the functionality, like the wingspan, the wing look, that communicator that they can't seem to get on most of them, everything. Disney Store did a good job with all the functions of Buzz, but it doesn't look movie accurate. And I think Way's got the movie accurate one, but not the functions. And then the wings just are kind of like on both of them. So, but then Medicom comes in and is like, "Oh, you want wings? Here's some wings. $700 for some wings." So yeah, I don't know what the deal with Buzz is, but maybe, and I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it, honestly, as far as Mattel is concerned, with their half-done Buzz, and which is the Action Chop Buzz. If you didn't know, I made a video about that. You can check that out in my playlists on my channel if you want to watch that. It's just I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a good Buzz, or if they're even going to try for Toy Story 5. I hope they do, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, so we can hope. We can hope that they make something that blows all the other Buzzes away, and it's affordable, and you can get it for whatever. Get 5 of them. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Especially because Toy Story. I mean, Toy Story's been going on forever. They would be coming to an end pretty soon. So I'm thinking 5. Good chance 5's probably the last one, but I don't know. I could be wrong. It's kind of a tired old horse. I mean, it's a great movie. You know what I'm saying? But to me, and people would probably argue a little bit with this, but the first 2 to me are the best ones. I love those. I like the other ones too, but to me, they can't touch the first 2. So that's just my opinion. Anyway, that I think is all I have to say in this review. So let's have, since all this stuff fell over anyway. Let's have Woody taking a look down at Sid's. It's a comeback, Carl. Come on, hit the dirt. Yeah. Anyway, oh, stuff fell over. So yeah. So to me, this Woody's where it's at as far as Woody's are concerned until something better comes out. Which as far as this Woody's concerned, all they have to do is close mouth smile, which you could do if you wanted to on your own with one of them plush and huggable Woody heads. Just pop that off. It's funny. They almost like did that to spite collectors, I think, because they were like, "Oh, you know what we're gonna do? Yeah, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually release a closed mouth smile Woody. All right, but here's the catch. We're gonna put the head on just a stuffed body. Nothing. No electronics. No nothing. No real shoes. No nothing. Just a soft and huggable Woody. Closed mouth smile. We're gonna release it like that. Just to spite all the people who keep wanting it. The collectors. We don't care about the collectors. We don't care about the adults that grew up with Toy Story. The ones that started with Toy Story 1. We don't care about them. Nah. We just care about putting stuff out that's going to sell. That's all we want to do. Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know. What. That really didn't make sense. Kind of lost where I was going. Anyway, yeah, it isn't. Yeah, it matter. Probably shouldn't even attempted that joke. It isn't even funny. But these are the things that I do sometimes. I don't script. This isn't scripted. Obviously, I don't have anything written out like some YouTubers will for things, and they just read from the script. And I don't do that. I just get something out of my thing, here, and even when I do regular reviews, I just sit there and talk about it. So, it's real. I don't have any sponsors, and I'm not a sellout.
Look, there's a bandit! I fooled ya!
So, anyway, however, anybody wants to sponsor me, they can. I'm open to sponsorship. So.
Well, pull my string! Yee-haw!
All right. Anyway, I ate fast food like 4 times this last week. That's way too much. I was like trying to lose weight, and it was working. And this last week, I ate it 4 times. 4 times. Way too much. Way too much fast food. So, anyway, but all right. Thanks for watching. Oh, I forgot. I guess I'll say it at the end. I'll say it at the beginning or in the middle or whatever. But we're coming up on 2,000 subscribers. When we get to 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. Again, I did one at 1,000, and we're going to do another one at 2,000. To be part of the giveaway, if you'd like to be part of it, you need to be subscribed to my YouTube and also follow me over on Instagram. Link is in the description of all of my videos. So just go click there and then click the follow button. And you're following me on Instagram. And I'm going to give away 2 things, which I will pick once we get to 2,000. We're really close, so thanks everybody for subscribing and watching my videos. I appreciate it, and I want to give back for that. So I'm going to give away 2 things for 2,000, and somebody, as long as you live in the U.S., will win. There'll be 2 winners ultimately, so because of 2 items, so one item will go to one winner, another one will go to the other winner. So we're doing that. That's going to be fun and exciting. I'm looking forward to being able to do that. And it'll be free. I'll pay for the shipping and everything and get it out to you. So as long as you live in the U.S., of course. So that is on the horizon. Very soon. Very, 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 very soon. Right, Woody? What do you have to say, Woody?
Hey, partner, you've got a friend in me.
All right. I will see you, and you, and you, and you back over there, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you over there, and that guy, maybe not that guy, and them over there, and them back there, and them over there, and over. And what? Who is that? What is that? What?